Hi everyone and welcome back to the Toffee Blues YouTube channel, and we are here to discuss the breaking news that Frank Lampard has been sacked by Everton in the wake of the 2-0 defeat to West Ham. And few can have many complaints, really. Let's have it right. It's been an awful run of form for Everton. No win since October. We're now heading into the prospect of going into the month of February without a win. And the club is just in dire straits at the moment. You know, it comes almost a year exactly after Rafa Benitez was dismissed and the circus that is Everton Football Club. The manager merry-go-round is in full swing again. Apart from this time, the stakes couldn't be higher because Everton really are staring relegation in the face this time around. So it's going to be very interesting what happens going forward. The early names which are going to be floating around are, of course, your Sean Dyches, your Wayne Rooney's. There's talk of David Moyes, but I don't know what's going to happen at the West Ham front at the moment, having seen them just dismantle us quite comfortably there. So David Moyes might live to fight another day at West Ham. But yeah, Lampard sacked. My sort of initial thoughts on that is, of course, he came in last year on the back of Rafa Benitez's tenure, and everyone straight away got behind him. And I think what you've got to say about Frank Lampard's reign as Everton manager more than anything is that the fans stood by him. The fans wanted it to work for him. There's a lot made out about modern day football, how managers aren't given an awful lot of time, but I don't think you can say that in this case. Everton have put in some really, really poor performances, some of the poorest I've ever known supporting the club under Frank Lampard, and yet the fans have very much stuck with him. We saw just moments before, well, about an hour before kickoff in the West Ham game, you know, fans were shaking his hand, patting him on the back, saying, "We're behind you. We want this to work for you." And that, I firmly believe that's very much the case for a lot of fans with Frank Lampard. But, you know, there comes a stage where, you know, you just can't defend that kind of record, unfortunately. And you have to just look at the Everton's recent run of form, and it's relegation form. Of course it is. You can't hide from that. And, you know, I said this in my reaction to the West Ham game. You know, you can't have any arguments to where we are in the table, but we are where we are on merit because we've been absolutely god awful, and there's no two ways about it. And, you know, we've got a break now, obviously. I think the time of the sacking comes as we've got a week off due to not playing in the FA Cup fourth round. So, you know, if only the club had a longer period of time, such as the World Cup, to do it. But, you know, that's another story. But he's gone. He has gone now. And now Everton have to quickly get another manager in place to turn this club's fortunes around. I think for me, if I have to be pushed for an answer, I think you've got to go in for Dyche at this present moment. You know, he's a man who's kept Burnley up when Burnley seemed dead and buried. He's managed to get them over the line. And, you know, Sam Allardyce-esque sort of appointments. I think we've already used our Sam Allardyce card, haven't we? So I can't see him coming back anytime soon. But yeah, I think for me, it's got to be Dyche, I think. Just purely based on the fact that we got Burnley out the mire in similar situations where they looked beyond saving, and that's purely my only reasoning for this stage. Otherwise, as I say, Everton are heading for one direction, and that is down. So there you go. Obviously, a lot more reaction to come on the channel going forward. A lot more discussions are going to take place about this. But just the breaking news, of course, is that Everton have sacked Frank Lampard after just under a year in charge. So yeah, keep watching the Toffee Blues for more updates as this story develops. Like and subscribe if you haven't done so already.